You're like, are they going to be welcoming? Are they going to be nice? And the answer is no. They're f***ing
I also think it's a funny, tiny detail in The Deep that he happens to be a fruity drink drunk.
Yeah, and I
feel
don't.
like in another world, we could have been best friends.
No, I don't know about that.
She bad. She real bad.
We figured it out for season 3 of what her favorite movies are.
Nice.
Oh.
She loves Hollywood musicals. That's her thing.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Entertainment Weekly's Around the Table. I am Eric Kripke, showrunner of The Boys, and I want to introduce you to our fantastic cast. First, there is Aya Cash and Karl Urban and Chace Crawford, Anthony Starr, Erin Moriarty, Laz Alonso, Jack Quaid, Karen Fukuhara, Jesse Usher, and Tomer Capone. And welcome.
Vault's holding the captive somewhere. And right now, we're in a little bit of trouble. Are you f***ing with us?
At the end of season 1, the boys were in a pretty bad state. Butcher discovers that his wife, Rebecca, is not in fact dead, is alive, and has a soup son from Homelander. So that really sets up Butcher's journey for season 2.
Well, Homelander, at the end of season 1, has really taken matters into his own hand, gotten rid of his Oedipal mummy figure, and has really tried to branch out into the world. And in season 2, it's about dealing with the repercussions. Maybe a little bit of parenting here, a little bit of foul play there. You know, it's a really interesting season and very much a journey into the dark parts of his soul.
Safe to say I win, first of all.
Did you win or did I forfeit?
I would say that I catalyzed maybe the heart attack with my fierce pew, pew, pew. I'd say that's heart attack.
Yeah, it was the pew pew that got me.
Yeah, that is certainly a sticky situation for them to launch into in season 2.
There's some healing that needs to be done, you know?
Yeah, and I
feel
don't.
like in another world, we could have been best friends.
No, I don't know about that, but
in another world.
But there's a world where we could have been civil.
Right.
I think,
maybe that's what I was
think
looking for.
healing is one word that needs to happen between those two. But it's interesting because they both have very strong individual motives, and I just feel like season 2 is a clashing of those motives, just kind of playing games with each other, playing mind games with each other is an interesting dynamic to explore between those two, because we hadn't worked a ton together in season 1, and then season 2 straight off the gate. I mean, every relationship in season 2 is complex given what happens in season 1, but it just, complicated and a lot of tension.
I love it. Well said.
You know, The Deep goes through a lot of personal growth.
You know, I mean, he's left drinking, Mai Tais and head shaven, and he's in a dark place. Yeah, we find him at, not in a good state, and in a sort of path to try and redeeming himself, to sort of make a path or a road back to getting into the 70. He wants to be back in New York and doesn't want to be alone. He's lonely, and self-esteem is crushed.
I also think it's a funny, tiny detail in The Deep that he happens to be a fruity drink drunk. He only drinks, every time you ever see him drink, it's only like Mai Tais or lava flows or even in his
maraschino cherries.
All the fruit that he dumped in the blender at the end of season 1.
You know the whole reason the Navy discontinued their sea mammal mine clearance program? It's because it costs way too much to train the dolphins. Yeah. But with me on board, it's like a pickup game of basketball.
I mean, when we first see Huey in season 2, he starts off with even less than he started off with at the end of season 1. He is in hiding. His mentor figure to him utterly betrayed him. And he feels really, really bad about lying to Annie for as long as he did. And he just feels so incredibly alone. And this season was really cool because it was largely for me about discovering what Huey wants out of this. You know, in season 1, he was kind of chasing a lot of other characters and becoming enmeshed in their motives. And he was starting to realize his place in all of it. But in this, he is figuring that out a little bit more. Yeah, we really do meet him in a very, very low place at the beginning of season 2. And it's up to him to kind of pull himself out of that little by little.
There's a bunch of things that he's struggling with. One of which is, where's Butcher? 2 is, Huey is kind of starting to really embrace this role that he is a part of the boys, and he's trying to, almost like a parent, manage how much he is embracing this and trying to almost hold the reins back from him going too far and almost becoming another Butcher, which one is more than enough to handle in our group. And then, it's just he's taking it out on the team. He's frustrated. He thought he was this close to being done with this, once he was able to get his wife and kid to safety. And here we are back at square one. And so as much as he tries to control everything is completely out of his control.
So at the end of season 1, we see, Kimiko, who is this feral creature when we first see her in the season, transform into a more human-like being. And at the end of the season, she gets kidnapped, and Huey breaks his teeth to save her, and Mother's Milk is coming in with his strength to literally carry her out. So there's a lot of trust that's built, I think, within the boys at the end of season 1. Beginning season 2, she's trying to communicate with the boys so that she can, I think, assimilate a little more and be a part of the team. And I don't think I am allowed to say how she ends up communicating, but I think in the first or second episode, you see her learning how to write, and it's a cute little thing she's doing. She's learning.
We figured it out for season 3 of what her favorite movies are.
Nice. Oh.
She loves Hollywood musicals. That's her thing. So she'd be watching like Seven Brides for Seven Brothers or West Side Story or something. That's
yes.
That's
awesome.
I'm so excited. Yeah. I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
I think in season 1, we get to know a Frenchie that was running from himself, from his life, from his past life. We got a little glance of his past and his trauma. He's like the kid in the boys' family, like the troubled teenager. That's how I saw it in season 1. And coming back to the boys, only good thing happened to him, like finding a female, and he gets to see himself more and more. And in season 2, opens up when he feels like he kind of left alone. Because the father of the family, Butcher, trying when Huey, the stepfather, tries to replace him, Frenchie doesn't take it, and other than the mission of finding their father, he's getting to know himself through a lot of stuff that is happening this season, which is going deeper and deeper into the backstory. With the whole Mallory grandchildren and the trauma that he had.
I think what I can tell you about Stormfront is that she's a new member of the Seven who kind of comes in and causes waves with everyone, but especially Homelander. She real bad.
More super terrorists will come. For all we we know, these maniacs could be waiting for their chance to kill us all.
Who the f are you?
I'm Stormfront.
Who?
I'm the new girl.
Wonderful.
I was lucky enough to get to see a lot of season 1 before I even took the job. So I got to come in as a fan, and also Eric and I had talked a little bit, and he'd been really generous about letting me know what was going to happen in season 2. So it was really fun to read the scripts and see how that unfolded. But I got really excited when he sort of laid out the ideas. Anyway, so I sort of knew what was coming, but then to see obviously all the how it all plays out, and to read everybody else's stuff, which I did after we shot. And but yeah, and then my first day of set, I was there like a month early, because as a soup, your suit takes forever. I mean, I got cast before there was even officially a pickup, because the suit is such an undertaking, and they need to do it on the body of the person that they hire. So I had been probably doing fittings every 2 weeks for 2 months, and then got to Toronto, and then was there for a month by myself. Getting myself really nervous to meet everybody. Because, when you come in as a fan of something, when you come in like after watching the show, you kind of get a little nervous about meeting everybody, and it's their show. So you're like, are they going to be welcoming? Are they going to be nice? And the answer is no, they're fucking
We didn't run you. No one was nice to you at all. It was awful.
Really, a lot of rat style like initiations. I was on scavenger hunts, and no, they were all really nice. And once the first day is over, and I think it was just Colby and Ant and Dom the first day that I was on set, and they were just super welcoming. And I think Ant even texted me afterwards and was like, "Good job," and I was like, "That's so nice."
Everyone's a little edgy when it's the first day of school, and of course, you couldn't tell that it was your first day there. That was what was so great, is you just walked.
I'm an actor, so I can fake it like I'm confident.
No, don't be a pussy. Laser my f***ing tits.
1, 2, 3, hit it! She's got a whole army of soups. We cost them too.
We need more soup!
I remember in season 1, Anthony texted me, and after we had worked like our first day together, and he was like, "Hey, that was so good working with you. Like, I really love." And then the next week, I think Nathan was like, I worked with Anthony, and he sent me this text, and it was like, "Hey, dude, first day together, you were awesome. It was so nice working with you." And I I was like,
"So what you're saying is that I should?"
Yeah. So that basically.
I never got a text.
Text me that. What the
I got a text. What the is this?
Yeah, where's my text, Sonny?
I gotta chime in. I have barely worked with Anthony. Season 1, I never worked with Anthony. He sent me a text.
Day, man. Yeah.
He sent me a text saying, "I hope we get to work together."
Wow. You know what? I think I did get a text.
"I'm nice."
He only sends me texts that say, "Go f yourself." It's just
Interesting. Yeah. Real interesting.
At least you were special.
I try and be nice to people.
I'm the world's greatest superhero. I can do whatever the I want.
I mean, in terms of like what we were thinking about heading into it is, I was really nervous. One of the side effects of delivering a season that you're really, really proud of is like, then you have to do it again and make sure that it's as good, if not better. And I thought we set a pretty high bar collectively, and it was scary sitting down and being like, okay, we got to figure out how to do this. And we decided really quickly that we didn't want to even try to go bigger, and we just wanted to try to go deeper and dig through really these characters. Because I will say the thing about this show that I love is, yes, there's a lot of commentary about society, but like we really start character first, and where are they emotionally and what do they go through. And we played a mental game with all the writers of what was the single worst thing we could put every single character through, and that was how we started the story. But, in terms of like the issues we were talking about, I mean, the world is giving us lots of material. So that's good. So, we wanted to get into, this season, we wanted to get into, there's some white nationalism that we take target of and try to expose. There's some white supremacy that we take target of, some systemic racism, xenophobia, how so many people in power make you afraid of someone coming over your border when really the person you should be afraid of is the person standing next to you. So, we really wanted to get into, what we see is a lot of issues that are unfortunately really happening in the world right now.
Okay, so on a personal note, the absence of Stillwell, in one way, she was a roadblock to Homelander getting what he believes is his just desserts, or his fulfilling his potential and becoming a god, basically. On the other hand, having Stillwell gone then presents another problem, which rears its head towards the end of episode 1, fairly early on anyway, and that Edgar is quite a force to be reckoned with, and he really destabilizes things for everyone in the Seven, but particularly Homelander, who has to maybe have a little bit more dealing with him. There is, of course, certain scenes in this throughout the season that reconnect with Madame Stillwell via her child's food. Which Homelander really enjoys reminiscing about the good times whilst sipping back on some titty milk. And I don't know what that's like for the rest of the Seven, because I can't actually remember like how much they have to do with Edgar, but I know Edgar's got basically a controlling hand over all of us. And I know there's some specific scenes where that's really highlighted very clearly, but the other guys could probably help me out with that.
It's tough for everyone else in the Seven because now Homelander has even more control. There's like less voices involved in the decision making without Stillwell being there. I kind of felt like she kept us all safe from him, sort of, but now he's kind of like a dog who's just been let off the leash on the rest of the Seven, and we kind of have to fend for ourselves almost. At least that's how it was for A-Train.
He needs his number 2 guy, man. He's got to have his wingman.
He needs his boy back.
We all know.
Boy back.
My little guppy, where are you? Yeah, that's true. That's a good point that Jesse makes. It really does it throws the cat amongst the pigeons. I think each character and Homelander, now the Homelander has taken a more authoritative spot in the Seven and in the company. Each character we have our own little interaction, some of which are more pleasant than others, but definitely it's a fun season watching the dynamics of the Seven and Vought really go to and fro and up and down and all over the place. It's really interesting.
Jack Quaid had the most fun with Tara.
Come on. I don't. All right.
Look at him squirming in his seat. Jack had to do a scene with Tara, and he had to pick up his hump doll. And funniest day on set was watching Jack Quaid trying to encourage this dog to hump this toy.
It was a stuffed pig, and I had to be in a room with it. The trainers weren't allowed in the room for some reason. And I guess this dog was famous on Instagram for humping this pig. It's like oh
my God,
it's whatever. But he, I don't know. It's a lot for a dog to be in a room with a lot of people, and
he had performance anxiety for sure.
Yes,
couldn't hump on the day.
No,
hey, Jack, can you let us know what the code word that would make him hump is?
Yes, so it was just me and this dog in a room. I'm trying to tell him to on cue hump the pig, and its trigger phrase was the word boner. So on camera, you have me screaming like, "Hey, boner, boner." I tried different tactics. I was like, "Boner, hey, boner." I was stern, I was friendly, and man, I think I said it like 42 billion times.
I gotta jump in here though. That's not the funniest thing about Jack and the dog. So In the script, it was written that it was a parrot that the dog would hump.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack thought that that was the animal that the dog was going to hump. So he thought that what he was playing with and holding and squeezing while we were rehearsing was just a prop that was just going to be there temporarily until the animal that he humps comes out. Little did he know that was actually the dog's real hump toy.
And they were like, "Oh, that's the pig that he humps. That's the pig that he fucks." And I'm like,
"No wonder he wouldn't want to hump on cue. You've been fondling his cuddy buddy for the last 20 minutes.
He was playing catch with it, and he was like, "So where's the parrot? Where's the parrot he's gonna hump?"
Oh no!
I was like,
I like to fidget with things. I got this thing in the room right now. I don't know, and it was just like, okay, where's the parrot? And when they told me it was the pig, I looked immediately at Laz, and Laz laughed louder than I'd ever heard him laugh before. And yeah, that was my experience on set.
All right, well, this has been Entertainment Weekly's Around the Table. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being fans of The Boys. Catch our season 2 when it premieres on September 4th for a weirder and stranger and deeper and more over-the-top season. Thanks.